This is you, and behind you, your dad, his dad's dad. You're flying back now through saber-toothed tiger, mammoth, stone tools, cold caves, sharpened sticks, volcanic winters, and smoke-filled skies. That man, that's your ancestor. No name, no shoes, no dental plan. Just grit, desperation, and a brain screaming, "Don't die!" But here's the thing, if he missteps, gets starved, freezes, or doesn't find a partner to pass on his genes, you wouldn't be here. You exist because he, and thousands after him, didn't die when they should have. You're not lucky, you're the biological jackpot of close calls, dumb luck, and evolutionary stubbornness. So let's count the times that history tried to kill you. Take a look at how close you came, again and again, to never being born at all. Let's get right into it. Number 7. Predator Gauntlet, 2 million to 300,000 years ago. Let's say you wake up today and your alarm clock is a lion chewing on your leg. Welcome to life between 2 million and 10,000 years ago, a time when you were on top of the food chain. You were the menu. You live in open grasslands wandering between water holes that double as all-you-can-eat buffets, full were saber-toothed tigers, crocodiles the size of minivans, and giant hyenas with bone-cracking jaws. The moment you bend over to drink, you're basically ringing the dinner bell. You're slow, mostly hairless, and squishy, and you haven't even invented metal yet. At night, it gets worse. Your vision sucks. Every twig snap is a potential death. Leopards drag you into trees, wolves hunt in packs, and Megalania, a 20-foot venomous lizard, doesn't knock. You're not just running from teeth, you're competing with them. Medical plan? No! One claw swipe gets infected and you're out. You don't have antibiotics, you have moss, but somehow you survived. You group up, you invent teamwork, you get louder, smarter, more coordinated. Eventually, the predators start avoiding you, and just like that, you went from the menu to legend. Number 6. Firestarter Forests. Somewhere between 1.5 million and 200,000 years ago, you were a walking tinderbox. The earth was heating up, not metaphorically. Dry savannas spread across the land, replacing the once lush forests, and with that came an endless parade of wildfires, sparked by dry lightning and fanned by prehistoric winds. Welcome to the Pleistocene. Fire season all year round. If you're unlucky enough to be standing under a tree when lightning hits, congratulations! You are now flambéed Homo erectus. No clothes, no shelter. Just wet skin, grease-rich hair, and a skeleton ready to conduct 300 million volts straight into the dirt. Let's say you were struck by lightning and you've just figured out how to use fire. Congratulations! Now fire is everywhere, trying to kill you. There are no antibiotics, no burn ointment. You blister, heal the wrong way, and if you get an infection, well, you hope grandma knows which leaves won't kill you. And yet, fire becomes your frenemy. You don't have matches or lighters, you learn by watching nature destroy everything around you. Then you steal that destruction and make it your tool. You cook, you harden wooden spears, you stay warm at night. Eventually, you stop fearing every flicker of flame and start carrying it with you. Number 5. The African Megadroughts. Around 135,000 years ago. You're walking across what looks like the moon. Dry, cracked, endless. Welcome to one of the longest, driest, and most brutal climate events in human history, the African Megadroughts. You're in East Africa, homeland of early Homo sapiens, and you're thirsty. Rain stops falling, lakes vanish, grasslands shrivel into cracked earth. Picture the Sahara, but bigger and spreading. You wake up every morning hoping for clouds. You get vultures instead. You move constantly, searching for anything that won't kill you. Water holes become war zones. Other human bands are just as desperate, and sometimes just as violent. You walk for days, barefoot, sunburned, hallucinating mirages. Your food? Scavenge roots. Dead insects, if you're lucky, a roasted lizard. If you're really lucky, someone else drops dead first. Diseases spread in weakened bodies. You can't store food, you can't farm, and your best technology is a sharp rock. Meanwhile, dehydration slowly shuts down your kidneys, your brain, your will to keep moving. And the man who was your ancestor during this period was one of a tiny population, just a few thousand, survives on Earth. They pushed forward to explore new lands, including Nile Valley and beyond. They miraculously survived, passing down knowledge of hidden springs and moonlit migration paths. Number 4. Supervolcano Winter. Around 74,000 years ago, Mount Toba, in what's now Indonesia, erupted in one of the largest volcanic explosions in the last 2 million years. It almost wiped our species off the map. When it blew, it launched over 670 cubic miles of ash and molten debris into the atmosphere. That's enough to blanket the entire United States in choking, suffocating volcanic fallout. The skies went black. For 6 to 10 years, the sun was barely visible. What was once a tropical world turned into a freezer. Temperatures dropped by as much as 27 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Celsius. Plants died, animals starved, and the food chain snapped like a brittle bone. You watched loved ones waste away not from violence, but from hunger and cold. At one point, your entire species may have numbered fewer than 3,000, just a few scattered, freezing groups in a dying world. But somehow, you endure, you adapt, you keep going. And today, every person alive is a descendant of that impossible persistence, because you didn't give up when the earth tried to end you. Number 3. Neanderthal Plague, 60,000 to 40,000 years ago. You're on the move again, crossing unfamiliar territory, and you've just met someone else. They're like you, sort of. More watery eyebrows, stronger bones, more cold resistant, but they're not Homo sapiens. Your new neighbor, a Neanderthal, is sick, coughing, wounded, dying, and guess who doesn't have antibodies? You. As Homo sapiens migrated out of Africa and met Neanderthals in Europe and Asia, we exchanged more than awkward glances. We shared pathogens, and the results were catastrophic. Recent research suggests that gene combination between humans and Neanderthals may have triggered immune responses that turned into full-blown plagues. You're sick, feverish, your joints ache, half your group is down. There's no medicine, no quarantine, and certainly no Zoom calls. You either adapt, die, or give birth to someone who can. Entire lineages were snuffed out like candles. The Neanderthals themselves would vanish within a few millennia. Maybe not just because of humans, but because of microbes we carried. Still, we endured. Our immune systems became stronger. Genetic traces of Neanderthals remain in us today, along with some of their immune defenses. Number 2. Ice Age Bottleneck. About 70,000 years ago, the planet began to freeze, and you were caught in the middle of it. Global temperatures dropped by 15 degrees Fahrenheit or 8 degrees Celsius. Glaciers swallowed continents, water froze, food went extinct, herd animals disappeared, plants didn't grow. Now imagine living there, barefoot, hungry, and wearing robes made of rabbit skin. You lived in caves, if you were lucky, hugging each other for warmth, huddled under your stitched skin. Fire was your religion, smoke was your perfume, you hadn't eaten meat in weeks. Only scraped bark, boiled roots, and memories of better days. Even breathing was painful. You were hungry, cold, exhausted, and the sky hadn't cleared yet. This wasn't a cold snap, it was a climactic bottleneck that lasted tens of thousands of years. The last ice age, also known as the late Pleistocene ice age, lasted nearly 50,000 years in some areas, long enough for entire generations to live and die without ever seeing spring. But somehow you did. You migrated, you invented, you remembered, you carried fire across glaciers and stories across generations, and you survived, not because the earth made it easy, but because you refused to disappear. Number 1. The Black Death. But just when you thought the worst was over, when humans had fire, farming, clothes, and maybe even a god or two, history decided to get creative. Welcome to civilization, and its plagues. It's 1347, and Europe smells worse than usual, which is saying something. You live in a wooden house with no plumbing, no antibiotics, and no understanding of how disease works. You're pretty sure that bad air, sin, or maybe a strange-looking dog is to blame for what's coming. Spoiler, it's actually a bacterium called Yersinia pestis, and it's about to kill half the continent. It arrives in fleas, riding rats, riding ships. You don't even notice it at first. Just a cough here, a fever there, then boils show up. Huge black lumps in your armpits and groin. They stink, they ooze, they hurt like hell. And once they appear, you've got maybe 3 days to live. The death toll is beyond comprehension. Between 75 to 200 million people die globally. You watch family members drop one by one. Priests refuse to give last rites. Doctors wear bird masks stuffed with herbs. You try praying, bleeding, even sniffing flowers. Nothing works. No one understands contagion, and no one is coming to help you. You survive, and because you do, we inherit not just your genes, but your grim, brilliant instinct to endure.